Hi guys, Matt Lemke here with Gamer Goggles, and we are at Catalyst Game Labs booth, Gen Con 2023, and I'm here with Randall, and we're going to talk about pretty much everything.
A lot of stuff
that they do. Oh yeah, well we're gonna start with Mech Warrior and the insanity that has ensued for I guess about 2 years.
It's actually a little longer than that. So it really began in January 2018 when we published the new beginner box set in the Game of Armored Combat that had the new plastic models in it, the new reimagined plastic models in it. And then that just started selling out almost immediately. And then the summer of 2019 is when we launched the Clan Invasion Kickstarter.
That one I remember.
That raised $2.6 million, had about 11,000 backers. And then back in March, we launched the Mercenaries Kickstarter. And this, obviously, we've been releasing new product. We've moved into the Ill Clan era. There's been new fiction, the new Alpha Strike box set. Like, there's been a lot of other elements that have all been building towards this. And so when we released the Mercenaries Kickstarter, we also did it across Adepticon, which is in Schaumburg, Illinois by Chicago. It's a fantastic convention on pure tabletop miniatures.
Yep.
And so we did a live stream from there at the launch of the Mercenaries Kickstarter, and basically in like 9 hours we had surpassed the Mercenaries Kickstarter completely. So it was a rocket ship of epic proportions. At the very end of it, I got to go up to Canada, and for 2 days, Ash Barker from Guerrilla Games and I played a whole bunch of Battletech games against each other, some scenarios. They were like 12 or 14-hour days each. Big shout out to him for doing that for us. That was super fun. And then we went into the last 24 hours of a live stream. We interviewed the original creators, Ross and Jordan, a whole bunch of authors, everyone. It's just a really incredibly, it was a long couple of days, but it was incredibly fun. But at the very end, we cracked into the top 20 funded Kickstarters of all time. Not tabletop, not board game, no, just of all time. And to see a nearly 40-year-old game do that is just spectacular. Thank you to all of those of you who backed it, who've been playing. You know, we're here because of you. This man, what a ride. We have so much more of this ride to keep going on.
Yeah, we do. So at the end of that Kickstarter, how much? I mean, obviously you didn't expect it to do that well.
No, we expected, based upon the continual increase of sales into hobby stores, we expected $3 to $4 million. And which again would have been, we would have walked away just being like, wow, this is phenomenal, right? It's fantastic. We would have been in the top 50, right? No complaints by any stretch at all. And so the fact that it was basically $7.5 million, and more important to me, like, you know, it's going to sound funny to say this, but you know, by the time we hit like the 5 million mark, I almost stopped looking at that number. The number that I was looking at was, one, us climbing up towards that, can we break into the top 20? And then more importantly, the number of backers. Because we had 11,000 backers the last time. We almost hit 25,000 backers this time. And that, combined with the sales, combined of sales in the channels, it means we are still just wide open, right? We've not found the ceiling. There's an endless ocean of new players that either are loving our new Alpha Strike game, which is our modern, fast-play tabletop game, or are discovering that this 40-year-old game is still an absolute blast to play, and are diving in and giving it a try. Like, we're you know, thousands of player hours are going on right now over in the demo hall. Mary and all of her amazing agents are running an obscene number of Battletech games. So it is the best time ever to be a Battletech fan.
Yeah, it is, and I wanted to play, but I can't, I don't have time, or my times are gone for when I can't play. But back home, we'll play. I bought the starter a while ago, and I'm jonesing to paint it. I've never wanted to paint Battletech miniatures until now.
Actually, that's another thing that this was kind of I mean, obviously you try to do that, but working with the manufacturer and the new plastics and all of that, you're never sure how it's going to turn out. And one of the things that all the way from the brand new person who's starting to the absolute expert that we get continually is how amazingly easy the battle mechs are to paint. The way in which they're constructed, Anthony and his team are always thinking about, if somebody's going to paint this, the pose needs to kind of be like this, needs to be like this, right? He's thinking really hard about that. And then our manufacturer, Leah International, just did an absolute phenomenal job in the quality and type of the plastic. So they're just so easy to paint, just amazing.
Vehicles are easier to paint than I thought they would be, and they're not. I guess they're not vehicles; they're like human body armor in a way. But I mean, they're vehicles.
Yep.
So and they are a lot easier than I thought they were. For the longest time, I didn't want to paint vehicles.
Yeah.
I avoided it. But I get what he's saying. You're saying, oh, so if the arm is too close, how are you going to get a brush
how are
in
you
there?
going to get it under? And because they come pre-assembled, like that's one of the others, right? So there's plenty of tabletop miniature games that, by the way, I own them all, I play them all. I'm an equal opportunity game player. But most of your tabletop miniature games come on a sprue, which means you're carefully clipping them out and then assembling them. And for a hobbyist, who part of the joy he gets out of it is the assembly, is the painting, that maximizes how to do it. But ours come, you open the box and you're immediately playing, right? They're pre-assembled, all ready to go, and that means you want to make sure that there isn't like them trying to get the brush under that arm and that type of thing. So, yeah.
I guess what next is this is their newest release for Shadowrun. I don't know if you can read that, but it says Berlin Edition.
Yeah, so Shadowrun 6th World came out 4 years ago now. I can't believe it's already been that long. And yeah, it's only 4. And if you go, it came out, or was it 2018? Maybe it's 5 now. I know it came out right before COVID. And if you maybe he'll be able to show up some photos or some videos earlier. We have a whole bank of books that Jason, the Shadowrun line developer, and his whole team was put together. And we have been hard at work doing a lot of great stuff with Shadowrun. The Berlin edition, so basically when the book last year needed to reprint the core book, we decided to make a Seattle edition of it. Which it's the same book, it's the same rules, just new cover art. There are some some fold-out pages that have different art on it. And then in the back of the page, there is a 16-page, some classic art, right? So that is part of the cover. But then you've got the the old Berlin source book, just some great stuff there. Yeah. So that's just coming out now. But we've also been hard at work at trying to expand how players experience it. So for example, earlier in the year, Roll20, the core rulebook became live on Roll20, and we have plenty more books coming for that virtual tabletop. Also at San Diego Comic-Con, we were working with Realmsmith, who's a live action or a live play streaming service. They had several people up there, several different voice actors, people that have been on Critical Role and some of these other fantastic live action shows that did a 0 episode for a new Shadowrun campaign. And then they're going to be heading down in just a couple of weeks to do to film all its like 6 or 8 episodes. And so you'll be able to see that later in the year. So not only does that again show you can experience Shadowrun, but you're also showing that we're just trying to get it out to a wider and a wider audience. Because the Shadowrun universe just remains seminally unique and wonderfully different, and there's just nothing out there like it.
That's a safe way to say that. Yeah. You were not predecessors. You were forerunners to to a lot of the cyberpunky stuff that's kind of out there now.
Absolutely. No,
You pierced the veil of AR and
yeah, a lot of that was all there. Actually, what's really funny though sometimes is, you know, I look at my smartphone, and this thing is way more powerful than the comlink that was originally described.
Oh, yeah.
In the Shadowrun First Edition.
Some of the original art for the video games, they were at an ATM that is obsolete now.
I know, right?
I mean,
so it's been funny to see technology actually go quicker than was projected.
Than what we could have possibly foreseen with our basis of what we know as not being scientists. I guess is the right way to say it.
We're also doing Shadowrun Takedown, which is a new board game. It's a real-time play, cooperative, really fun. We did several live streams here of the show. So if you want to check that out, the Kickstarter's live right now, and we have embedded in there as well as out on the socials some different videos you can actually watch him playing through the games. Really a fun experience, and you know, you can check it out there.
And I might want to add to that, you guys, it's funded, so it's going to happen.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely happening.
Yeah, it happened. It's already like 45 minutes or so it was funded. So hop in, enjoy it, let it help it grow. I guess with that, we went to board games. You guys have recently expanded and started a board game dedicated division.
Correct.
What's going on with it?
Well, again, I'm a tabletop player and a role player at heart, but we're also equal opportunity gamers. We love every type of game. We have published several board games and card games over the years. The Duke, one of the
Crossfire.
Right? Yeah, like Duke, Crossfire, Dragonfire.
3 of my favorite games, actually.
Right? Phenomenal games. I literally, if somebody right now said, you want to play the Duke, I might push, you know, people aside to just sit and play that game. It's still one of my all-time favorite abstract games. But we want to continually do that. But that requires us to focus on that, right? People think of us as the Battletech and Shadowrun, and of course they do, because that's what we've been doing for years, and that's what we're really good at. So we decided to rebrand ourselves. We have several great new games coming out. Overlords in Training, Fanduble, Taco Apocalypse is already out. I just went and forgot the panda game, where you're literally like pandas falling down towards the earth, and you're trying to like throw one panda in front of the other because there's alligators down there. So if you're the last one to hit the ground, the other alligators will have eaten and you get away. Like, just fun and silly, but at the same time, the new Centurion game, which is our new Skin of a Duke game, is coming out in that division.
Oh, cool.
We have Battletech Encounters, which is a fun push-your-luck dice game that will be coming out there. We also just announced right before the show that we are working with Sandy Peterson Game to help them get their Cthulhu Wars game back into print and on store shelves.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of different really cool board games through there.
So can we see more Duke, or you're refacing it?
Well, no. The Duke is still out there. It's still published. It's still on the shelf. We then did a Jarl version, which was like a Viking skin. Centurion is the newest one that we're doing. That's just out now, and we've been working on like a daimyo one for years now, kind of a Japanese Bushido feudal version. That'll, maybe another year or two that'll come out.
Cool. What about Crossfire, Dragonfire? Is there any more plans for that in the near future?
So we don't have Dragonfire because we no longer have the license, which it is. I love that game so much, and we had a whole Waterdeep campaign box that was mostly developed that just didn't happen out the door. Didn't happen. It's how it happens sometimes. We actually are talking with like 5 different companies and potential IPs to plug that into them because it's such a great system. It can do anything. So there's lots and lots of cool possibilities.
I can see that being in a lot of different areas.
Yeah,
I can
so
see
we're
a 40K version of that. I can
absolutely right. A Star Trek version.
Yeah, Star Trek.
Just
Aliens.
You can do anything with it, right? So we're doing all of that. And then that's cool. Yeah. So a lot of plans still for those great properties. And then I think one of the last ones we didn't talk about yet was Leviathans.
Yes.
Our alternate history, steampunk, wet navies of the world have become air navies of the world. We ran a fantastic Kickstarter a year ago, and everything's moving. Molds are being made right now. There was some slowdown though because, you know, Battletech kind of sucked up all the oxygen in the room. It's one of those, you know, giant fantastic success, but then you have to deal with that giant fantastic success on the Battletech side. So there's been a little bit of slowdown on the Leviathan side, but it absolutely is all moving forward, and hope to, you know, around the end of the year start shipping that out, and it'll certainly be on store shelves everywhere next year.
Oh, great. Excellent. All right.
Okay.
Anything else?
No, I think we covered everything.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye, all.
Hi, guys. Meet the Nibbles, who's gonna go down. She just decided not to go down my back, so we'll do this for her so she's comfy. Thanks for watching my video, and I appreciate it. Please hit the like button, and share it if you know somebody who might be interested. And of course, there's always Twitter and the Facebook thingy, and soon I have a newsletter coming. That'll be down there or in a link below, and my kitty cat loves that idea. So anyway, there was one more thing. Oh yeah, subscribe. Be a part of my community, our community. Let's make it grow together. See you guys at a con somewhere, or a local store, or if I'm driving through the country, maybe a game club. I don't know, you're not going to go knock down my camera. Bye, guys.